I spent 20 hours mining rocks, building and automating everything in Foundry, which is a new great automation game published by Paradox, who also sponsor this spaghetti video. My goal is to use my pro Factorio skills and automate every single science pack in Foundry to show you all what you can do in this game. If you want to build your own factory, you can find the game link in the pinned comment. But now let's crash land on this planet. Okay,
Welcome, operator. I'm Carl, your facility management artificial intelligence.
This is Karl. In theory, he should help us with the
This resource-rich moon has been selected for the Foundry initiative.
but he's as useful as a bag of nails, so I will skip him all the time.
Work has already.
So the first thing to do is mine enough technium, which is like iron in Factorio. Nice. Next, we have to smelt it in the ship, which is very inefficient, but there is no other choice in this stage. We also need another resource, which is called xenopherite, and to find it, I will simply use ore scanner. Now, a little bit of mining.
Now that we have an initial supply of ore.
Nice. And we can smelt everything in the ship. With those resources, I can.
We have basic materials available. We should start crafting.
Okay,
building blocks
that's enough.
which act
How to
as a
tune him up?
foundation for other buildings.
Okay,
To do so, you need to.
so
open the
I don't
crafting
know.
menu and
Screw
click
him. Let's look at the crafting recipes. The most important thing to craft is a building block. And luckily, we are making 10 at the time. It's used to transport power and as a building foundation. So let's prepare the Technum outpost. With ready spot, let's place a drone miner. You see, it has a range limit, so I will place more of them
drone
later.
miners and most other buildings.
To power the mining drones, I need electricity, which can be produced in biomass generator. However, I need some biomass first. Great. Now, let's build the generator, connect it correctly, and put the biomass inside. With electricity running, we finally have a beginning of automation. Isn't it beautiful? But mining itself isn't enough for automation. We need a place to smelt the mined ore. This is why here will be a furnace. Nothing important was skipped there. To unload and load stuff, we are using these weird loaders. Also, let's connect it with the belts. And everything is working as supposed. Next, I made smelter for xenopherite and waited quite a bit for it to smelt. With freshly obtained resource, I made drone miners and I automated the smelting. Now it's a waiting game for resources, so I will chop some trees in the meantime. After waiting, I was able to upgrade the xenopherite smelter and expand the Technum facility. Looks like a factory, isn't it? To progress in Foundry, we need more space to build this huge research server. Of course, it requires science packs to work, so let's put them inside. This is the whole science tree, and I will research it by crafting 5 tiers of science packs in this video. But emergency beacon is the first research on the list. I will wait faster, and it's here. So this is the emergency beacon. There is a button for it, and it's falling down. I will deconstruct it and place it in the base.
Welcome to the ground C3BB.
Oh, fuck. It was Karl's trap. Finally, I can again focus on research. And assemblers are something what we definitely need. To support our future factory, I will also expand the Technum production. And it's done. I need Technum and xenopherite in a single place, so I connected both outposts. Here will be the factory. Oh wait. Here will be the factory. The first thing to build is a simple tier 1 science packs factory. Next, some research servers, and I just realized I need this technology to input 2 different resources to a machine, so I will hand feed the servers for now. I think it's also important to start them all and automate production of belts and foundation blocks. Since I wait for vital loaders to research, I can explore the planet. Oh, there are some unknown resources. Also, what is this? Is it oil? It's democracy time, baby! Oh, I find some xenoferrite on the way. So after finding this resource, it doesn't look like oil.
Huh, what is this?
What's more, I can't mine it. However, this resource will be necessary later in the video. To come back to the base, I will simply respawn myself.
What is oh fuck?
The machines has crafted necessary science packs, so I can put them to research servers. With growing base, I should also expand the power production to 5 biomass burners. The long loader is research, so I can make output for science production and input for research servers. No more hand feeding. Now I can expand the science production to research everything way faster. With this setup, we are rock. I've researched a new mineral called ignium, which I can look for with ore scanner. Luckily, the resource is close by. However, it's underground, so I need to dig it up. Like the previous ores, I will harvest it with drone miner. It needs connection to the grid for power, and with the belt's output, it just works. Ignium is a burnable material, so I will use it like a coal in a power plant. But first, I need to build it. This setup is making tons of electricity, and it's looking not bad. Belts, foundation and 2 types of loaders are necessary to progress, so I expanded them all. This is how it looks. I just realized I haven't set a recipe for science. Next, I expanded the xenoferrite mines and smelters. So now we have 2 belts of plates running. The problem is I have to somehow inject it. But everything can be done with a sufficient amount of spaghetti. This is the factory around 2 hours into the game. And I guess it's time for Science Packs Tier 2. The recipe is very simple, because it requires just belts and foundation. And this is the same factory, but with Tier 2 Science Packs. The base is growing, so I also have to expand the power plant. Few additional burner generators should be enough for now. I will also improve the ignium mining, because I don't know how hungry are those generators. Since I am upgrading miners, why not upgrade xenoferrite even more? I unlocked belts tier 2, so I definitely should build a production of them. And here is the production. To give you more context, here is a mall, tier 1 science, tier 2 science, research servers, xenoferrite production, and somewhere there are technum and ignium outposts. Belts started to feel like a main bottleneck, so I spent some time upgrading them to tier 2. I also built a warehouse for foundation and belts, because I will need a ton of those materials. We are producing more science than we can consume, and the solution to it is of course more research servers. We are not consuming a lot of technum, but why not expand it? Next, I built a new platform which will serve as a production of intermediate crafting parts for now. So turns out we are consuming a lot of technum, and actually it's a main bottleneck. This is why I tear down the whole smelting column and replace it with crushers and furnaces. Thanks to ore crushing, we will simply increase our ore productivity. This is a new technum smelter. I also connected ignium and xenoferrite, because it will come handy in a near future. Oh, I researched the mineral rocks. I will definitely mine them at some point. Since we have access to crushing technology, it would be smart to also rebuild the whole xenoferrite smelter. Luckily, it wasn't hard. Now it's time to use that ignium belt and mix it with xenoferrite in the crushers. It will make a steel dust, which then can be smelted into steel beams. At the end, I just need to connect them. And with connected steel, I can add the production of advanced machinery parts to the factory. They are as important as red circuits in Factorio, so this production is probably a bit too small. I'm working towards Science Tier 3, and beside advanced machinery parts, I also need mineral rocks. This ladder will provide access to the rocks. And look at that light, huh? Isn't it big brain? Yeah, so I have to dig around to make some space, and with space ready, I can build a miner. Automated rock mining. It warms my heart. The only problem is getting the rocks out of the hole, because we don't have access to any elevators yet. And for now, I just have to dig a bigger hole and place tons of spaghetti belts to get it out. Now, when I look at the rock recipes, I find out that I also need xenoferrite to make the cement, and our current outpost might be too small for it. Luckily, there is other xenoferrite patch nearby. I just need to take it to the base. somehow. While exploring the way to the resources, I realized it's not that close, and there is a mountain and tons of trees on the way. C4 will be a solution to this problem, but first I need to make the production of it. Since C4 is hard to craft, I'll just make the explosives and turn them into C4 in my inventory. Not the best solution, but it's a working one. Next half an hour I spent planting C4s, exploding them and building belts with foundation. By the way, there is a friendly fire,
Oh wait, my belts.
so be careful with those explosives. When I finished, I saw there is no electricity. Seems like the power plant is too small. I quickly went to Ignum Outpost and no, the electricity is actually fine. But since I am already here, I can expand it a bit with the help of explosives.
That wasn't very smart.
After fixing my smooth brain move, this should be enough Ignium for a long time. Next goal is a concrete factory, and to make it work I have to connect water to the base. It takes a little bit of time to connect, but it has to be done to progress. I built a new platform for concrete factory, connected the water to it and started building some crushers. However, I need xenoferrite to make the cement, so let's look at the production of it. The outpost is looking not bad, and it's big enough to last for the rest of the game, I think. I connected the mineral rocks and xenoferrite together to crush them into cement and gravel. Then I can turn those resources into concrete in the casting machines. After that, freshly made concrete will be transported to the future Tier 3 science packs production. Talking about science packs, I started building a production for them, but we are already almost done, because the recipe requires concrete, which you have, advanced machinery parts, which you also have, and pipes, which are extremely easy to craft. So after 10 minutes of building, we have this Tier 3 science packs production ready. Now I just have to connect it to the reset servers. Concrete looked like a bottleneck, so I expanded the production of it. Now it looks like this, and the whole base looked like that. Not bad, I hope. I want to fully automate the production of C4, and to do it I need to build greenhouses, which will produce some biomass. Of course, I need to connect water from nearby lake, and also connect mineral rocks from my outpost to make it work. Talking about rock outpost, it's now upgraded. With everything connected, I can start building the C4 production. You already know the drill, so preparing the land, building the stuff, and the C4 production is done. Nice. Then I started working on expanding the steel production and got something like this. Or like that if you prepare the whole base view. Technum were underperforming, so it also got an upgrade to this. However, we have researched the new ore called Olumite, and that is the ore I want to mine. While walking to it, I clear some forest, because nobody needs trees, right? When I finally arrived to the ore, I tried to mine it with drone miners, but they didn't work. Turns out this ore is actually oil, and to mine it, I have to place pump jacks and connect them to high grid power. So I built power line, xenoferrite outpost and connected them with a small transformer. But it doesn't work, because you can go only from high voltage to low voltage. Yeah, I wish to knew that before I connected it. With this new knowledge, I have to build a new power plant, which will output high voltage. I started by digging out the ignium ore,
Kaboom, kaboom, kaboom.
building the mining outpost and connecting it near the lake. On the lake, I built the platform and started filling it with some boilers.
Okay, this is massive.
But I'm still not sure with the design.
An elevator? That's certainly lifting our ambitions to the next level. Let's elevate our project to new heights.
I was happy without that joke.
Back to designing and building the power plant. For now, I will use just 2 boilers and steam turbines, but I will upgrade it later. This is a sufficient amount of electricity. Now let's connect power to the Olumite pump jacks. And look how nicely they work. When it comes to sufficient electricity, nah, it's fine. There is more important problem, like how on earth can I bring Olumite to the base? I mean, I think I have a solution. Remember kids, if something looks stupid but works, it's not stupid. With this approach, I connected the Olumite pipes. I haven't made space for the refinery in the base, so now it's time for it. This platform should be enough. I think. Let's bring the pipe down and build the first distillation column for polymer production. Next, I built casting machines and configured them to make polymer boards. Now I have to make belt output and polymer boards are running. I also built production of low-density olomite and liquid fuel. I will then turn it into the jetpack fuel with help of pipe spaghetti. Since jetpack fuel is very efficient, I will just hand feed this production from time to time. What can I say? It's simply awesome to just fly around the base. And it's easy to stand on the filler to get this shot of the base. To craft Science Packs Tier 4, I need circuit boards, energy cells and thermalite bars. Let's start with production of circuit boards, since we have polymer boards nearby. I think it's too small, but it's future me problem. To get thermalite bars, I have to build our first modular building. We start by building a base and opening it with the planner. Here you can choose the parts of the building, but I will build the standard tower. Now somebody have to erect it and it might be hard to do, because we need tons of construction blocks. So I expanded the xenophorite outpost. Then I prepared the terrain for the construction blocks production with a few C4s. Next I just build it and end up with something like this. 2 assemblers should be sufficient. For more context, here is a base, and there we are making construction blocks. Another element of Science Packs Tier 4 are energy cells. So I built a huge platform, connected all the belts, and we have this proof of concept. The only missing ingredient is olomite acid, and it will be the next thing to build. Olomite acid requires first olomite gas, then water, ignium powder, and we have working facility. With working olomite acid, I can expand the energy cells production to this. I looked at power production and it's not doing good. Wait, so I blew up the connection with C4. But even after rebuilding everything, we are still low on power. This is why I expanded power plant to 5 steam turbines. The last ingredient to Science Packs Tier 4 are thermalite bars, and to make them I have to build maintenance drones production, which then I will sell for the thermalite bars. But first I have to make some space for the drones. Let's start from a construction drone to finally build the radio tower, but it doesn't work without construction blocks warehouse. So I built one right there. Now I also have to build the transport drone station. Finally, the drones are working, and like you can see, the transport drones takes construction blocks from the warehouse and put them on the radio tower. Okay, this is a nice view of the base. Since high voltage power plant is more efficient than a low voltage one, I built a few transformers to convert the electricity. Steel beams started to be a bottleneck, so I literally built another steel beams production. In the meantime, radio tower was built, so let's see what's inside. From this panel I can select ship elements to build. The most important is of course sales platform to buy thermalite bars, but I have to unlock it first by building hull and solar panels. Seems like power is low. This expansion to 12 steam engines should fix it for a long time. Since I've started working with modular buildings, why not build an ore scanner? When I build it, it will work like a radar in factory. This is a requester warehouse, which I will use to buy thermalite bars. And this is a sales warehouse, which I use to sell maintenance drones for profit. While I wait for drones to sell, I can look at this radar construction. It's finally built. Also, it's working as intended, scanning the terrain. By the way, now there is a view tower in the base. I did some digging to prepare this space for Tier 4 science packs. Okay, this is nice. Then I built a platform. Okay, now it's fine. Building a production requires tons of belts placement, loaders, unloaders, assembling machines, and so on. At the end, we have this. Yeah, I can do better. This is a Tier 4 Science Packs production. So there is still one tier of Science Packs missing. But it requires vein mining, some weird towers, and overall big production. I'm leaving this part for you to explore, because my 20 hours journey have come to an end. Use the link from the description to check out the game, and once more, big thanks to Paradox for sponsoring this video. Also, big thanks to my lovely patrons. See you in the next video. Rock!